Peaceful student protests in Bangladesh over the government's job quota system have spiraled into a major uprising against Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina and her Awami League party. Following the announcement of a march to the capital, Dhaka, Hasina resigned and reportedly fled the country in a military helicopter. The violent protests have resulted in numerous deaths, prompting the military to impose an indefinite curfew and cut off internet access in an attempt to control the chaos.
Please keep faith and trust in the army. I take the responsibility and I promise to protect the lives and property of the people. Don't lose faith in the army. God willing, we will fulfill your demands and bring peace and harmony back to the country. I request to you all to support the army and stop the violence, murders, hooliganism, and the protest.
As clashes between police and anti-government protesters intensified, nearly 100 people have been killed. What began as student protests aimed at abolishing quotas in civil service jobs has evolved into a larger anti-government movement. Why are students protesting against PM Sheikh Hasina in Bangladesh? The mass protests in Bangladesh started as student-led demonstrations calling for reforms to the civil service quota system, which students argue unfairly benefits loyalists of Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina's ruling party, the Awami League. The protests have grown as demonstrators voice broader discontent with Hasina's government, accusing it of autocratic practices and suppressing dissent. The government's measures, including the closure of schools and universities, have not eased the unrest. A Supreme Court ruling against reintroducing job quotas did not fully satisfy the protesters, who demanded the complete abolition of job reservations for the children of freedom fighters. This partial concession has done little to quell the movement. The situation escalated further when former Army Chief General Iqbal Karim Bhuiyan criticised the government's handling of the protests and called for the withdrawal of troops. This stance, along with support from the current Army Chief, has intensified the unrest.
I'm looking forward to going back home and see what's happening there and how we can organize ourselves to get out of the trouble that we are in.
After weeks of deadly student-led protests demanding her resignation, former Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina stepped down and fled the country. The protesters also called for Nobel Prize winner Muhammad Yunus to lead the interim government. Yunus, known as the banker to the poor for his microcredit initiatives, founded the Grameen Bank and won the 2006 Nobel Peace Prize for helping Bangladesh's rural poor. Despite his success, Yunus has faced criticism and legal challenges, including accusations of high interest rates and embezzlement.
And the cases are very flimsy, made-up stories, they have stolen monies, forgery, embezzlement, cheating the cheating the labor, not giving them their proper money that they deserve.
In 2011, Hasina's government ousted him from Grameen Bank due to age limits, leading to widespread protests. Recently, Yunus has been outspoken against Hasina's regime, accusing it of autocratic practices. Following Hasina's departure, Yunus celebrated the event as Bangladesh's second Liberation Day.